So yes, the argument that I want to bring is actually completely different to Anita Sarkeesian's videos. You've seen a lot of people, even I did my first video countering her first Damsel in Distress Part 1 Tropes versus Women video. And my argument was logical, and you've seen other people's argument that are logical as well. But the one thing that I've noticed about watching some people's videos is how I've seen some people basically tell her she needs to go back to the kitchen. Alright? Yeah, that's always very logical. Let's fight sexism with sexism, because that totally works all the time. But then, when I started watching Anita's videos again, I started to notice a mild layer of sexism that was in there. I believe it is her first Damsel in Distress video, and she brings this up occasionally in other videos, where she talks about how males, that would be me, you, your grandpa, your dad, your brother, your nephew, whoever he is, play video games to kind of, I don't know, selfishly complete our fantasy or dream of, like, I guess, saving a woman or something of that nature. That's paraphrasing quote right there. So yeah, and I heard that, and then I seen her mention it a couple more times, and then once I noticed that, I started to really listen to her speeches, and there's a couple of other times where she basically insults guys. And there's even a few times that she actually insults females themselves. And I'm like, so she's being sexist toward males more than she is females, but she's also being sexist toward females. How is she being sexist toward females in her videos? She's basically alliterating that females, real females, that means you, I can't really say me because I'm not a female, that means you, are stupid. Alright, you are stupid because when you play a video game and you see how females are portrayed in that video game or that entertainment, that novel, that comic book, you are dumb enough to actually sit there and be like, that is how I should that is how I should be, that's how women are. She even correlates this idea to males as well. So she's also saying that males are stupid because we're going to believe that this is how real women should act or be within the real world. So yeah, there is that mild layer of sexism within her own videos. And the main point that I want to kind of give to you is that you cannot fight sexism with sexism. Alright, she's trying to fight sexism with sexism. You need to go and actually watch her videos, and you can see these small little segments where she's actually being sexist toward females and males. Now, some of this seems to be unintentional. Probably like she just really didn't think about her speech and what she wanted to say, so it just kind of ends up coming off as being sexist. And I'm going to bring up a very important person that most of us learned about in school, but they never actually really truly focused on this gentleman, and that is Martin Luther King. Alright, when you actually watch any of video segments of him speaking in public, his speeches, there's even sites that have his entire I Have a Dream speech. That's a big beast, by the way. That have his entire I Have a Dream speech on the internet that you can read, and a variety of other speeches that you can also read that he did. The one thing that you will take notice of is he never insults the white community. He never does that. Even if he may have personally believed they deserve to be insulted, he chose not to do it. Because it wasn't just about him, alright? It wasn't about him. It was about the black community. It was about the white community. It was about Asians, Chinese, coming together, alright, and putting their differences aside, and to basically have humanity come together as a whole. Now, granted, his I Have a Dream speech, some people say, focuses more on the white folk and the black folk, but in reality, he also mentions other races on Earth. So we can ultimately, that pinnacle point of his I Have a Dream speech just doesn't refer to the black community and the white community. It refers to humanity in general, coming together and putting our differences and personal beliefs aside, alright? And the reason why I say that he's a prime example that if you want to fight for something, he's a good example of somebody that you should study up on. You know, read his speeches, learn what, and take note from what he did. He never insulted the white community when he was giving his speeches, because it wouldn't have worked. he would have been fighting racism with racism. That really wouldn't have worked. It would have just thrown more racism back to him. He can't fight hatred with hatred because it would have thrown more hatred back at him. Now let's use feminist frequency and people. What is she doing with her videos? What is the purpose of her videos? Ask yourself these questions when you're watching them. If you're a female that agrees with her opinion, then you need to definitely question it. You can still believe in her opinion. You can still believe in that, but there's nothing wrong with questioning how she's portraying her information. Alright? You cannot fight sexism with sexism. It's not going to work, alright? And the whole idea that one good turn deserves another, you know, it doesn't apply because it's not going to work. Males and females would only continue to butt heads, alright? Oh, you're going to be sexist? I'm going to be sexist when I'm trying to fight for my rights, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. The whole idea to me, as I'm sitting there watching her videos, I did not feel as if feminist frequency was trying to be like, yo, this is what we need to do. Here is how we can do it. Alright? At no time does she actually mention this is how we can change it. It's all about her finding information and putting her personal opinion on it, and some of her information, some of her research doesn't completely add up. Let me give you an example of another point of sexism within her own video. She brings up the game Dinosaur Planet in her first one. She talks about the main female protagonist and says there is another protagonist, alright? Now, people might be saying that I'm just grasping at straws here, but in a way that's being sexist because she's not acknowledging that there was a male protagonist in the game, alright? On equal grounds. She's also sexist because she made the claim that it was, Crystal's game. Now granted, no one could really actually at this point definitively say whether they were equal main characters or whether it was truly Crystal's game. But the point of the matter is there was two main protagonists in the game that you can choose from. You can find video game footage of both of the characters playing the game within itself, alright? In fact, the information, the cutscene I seen actually says Crystal Adventures Begins. So I'd also imagine that, I believe his name was Sora. Sora's Adventure Begins. And you probably play through, so yes, two protagonists, but yet she only acknowledges the female. This is why I say that her videos have mild sexism in them, and this is why, as harsh as some of the dumb comments coming from these dumbass guys is, they see the sexism, so they're going to throw it back in her face. And yes, one good turn does not deserve another, whether you're a male or a female. But the whole point of her videos, it seems as if she's just trying to get more females to join her. She doesn't care about my opinion, alright? And I'm not going to go into the realm of like how her comments are blocked and locked and all that bullshit. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is her video, if she wants to change entertainment, it needs to focus on females and males. Her conversation, her information that she presents needs to sway me to support her opinion. But it doesn't. That's because she has that mild layer of sexism in her videos. So this is why I myself don't support her. Because she's sexist within herself. And you cannot fight sexism with sexism. It does not work, ladies and gentlemen. It will never work. Martin Luther King is a fine example of somebody that everyone should teach. And me personally, I think when it comes to Martin Luther King, they should definitely spend more time educating the young minds of not just simply he was a black important figure, but he was an important figure that truly showed people that this is the proper way, that if you want to fight for something, this is how you should do it, alright? So yes, the reason why she's getting all this hate is because there's that mild layer of sexism, and her research isn't complete. And she completely misses a lot of points in her own videos. You cannot fight sexism with sexism. As I've said, her video should not be about getting more women to follow her. Her video, if she wants to truly change entertainment, her videos need to be geared toward both males and females. This means that she has to remove all mild directly, indirectly, or metaphoric terms that come off as sexism toward males and females. She needs to remove them. I would even alliterate that she should probably actually work with males to talk about this. Because there are definitely male gamers out there who could totally agree that yes, female characters in video games are completely cliche and something does need to happen, alright? I don't mind playing female characters. Saints Row 2, for example, even though some people would alliterate, I actually create a male and a female characters just because I can, alright? That's just the realm. I don't mind as a male playing a female character. It does not bother me. There are tons of television series that I watch that have a female lead character within it. It does not bother me, alright? But the thing is that if she wants more people to follow her, if she wants the dumbass males that are throwing sexism in her face, she needs to stop putting sexism in her videos. Her videos need to be geared and designed to gain not really even the trust, but we're going to have to utilize that term, so forgive me, women, the trust of men to be like, you know what, I totally agree with that content of that video. She's actually right. We definitely need to change entertainment. But people don't see that because she has sexism within her own videos. So that is something that I ultimately noticed about her videos. This is basically my Feminist Frequency Damsel in Distress Part 2 video response. You can tell me what you think about it. Tell me if you've actually watched her videos and noticed this mild layer of sexism toward both males and females. And again, Martin Luther King is a fine example of someone, because you cannot fight racism with racism, so Feminist Frequency should not be either directly or indirectly, intentionally or unintentionally, should not be using sexism to fight sexism. If she wants it to change, she has to get both males and females to support her. But her videos at this moment in time are designed to get only females to support her, which completely nullifies the whole idea of standing up for something and fighting for something you believe in, because you're not fighting for anything. If you want to fight for something, if you want to be placed on equal grounds, regardless of your race, your creed, your sex, your religion, you need to make sure that the information you're conveying does not come off as sexism, racism, hatred toward the opposite of the person. The idea that you want is to gain their trust. Alright? To gain that person to join you in your cause. But they're not going to do that if you continue to have mild layer, intentional or unintentional sexism in your own videos. So this is my ultimate thoughts on feminist frequencies. I think this is probably, in my opinion, better than my first video I did. Because it talks about very logical things that when you watch her videos, not just her damsel in distress videos, her videos in general, they do have mild sexism within them, and this is why there's this confrontation that continues to go on. If she wants other guys to support her, and even females, because there are females that do not agree with her videos, if she wants the other females to support her, she needs to get rid of the mild sexism within her videos. She probably should actually start working with men and other women to actually properly research this and then have them all convey their idea. Also, what she needs to do, all she does is complain. You can't talk about something and only complain about it. You need to give a solution. If you watch all of her videos, at no time does she ever be like, well, this is how I think we could change this. She does not do it. Alright? So yes, you can't have a piece of the pie and hope everyone will take a slice from it as well. They're not going to. If you're just fighting sexism with sexism, they're not going to do it. If you're not going to give your thoughts and opinions on how you think we could change females' portrayal in entertainment. Removing the damsel in distress is not going to work, because you cannot solve a problem by removing the problem. It doesn't work, alright? It just doesn't work that way. So yes, I think I've talked about this enough, almost ended it a few times, but then I kind of, had more to say. But yes, hope you enjoyed this video in some fashion or form. Again, be sure to like, favorite, share this beast up on Twitter and Facebook, all that good stuff, and I will see you next time on GAMERant.